Hello, welcome back to Palesa Cooks. So today we have an interesting video. I'm going to be making steak pasta, and it's something different for the channel, and I loved it so much. So right now I'm just showing you some of the ingredients. You have your rosemary, your thyme, your garlic, your butter, and that's for the steak. And then we have our pasta, mushrooms, onion, green pepper, etc. And that's for the pasta. So as you can see right now, I'm just adding some onion, white onion, to some olive oil, and I'm going to saute that until it's translucent in color, and until I feel like okay, we're ready to now add the green pepper. So stir it as it goes so that it also doesn't burn. Just make sure that your temperature is on medium. It's okay, and it's not burning your onion before it becomes translucent. So it's so important to make sure that your heat is correct and it's doing what it needs to do. So as you can see, it's starting to become translucent. So I'm just adding the rest of the spring onions as well as the green pepper, just to allow all of those to saute together until they're a bit tender and well cooked. Stir them around, as you can see, until every single piece is well cooked, right? So now, as you can see, they've sauteed well in the olive oil, and I'm just going to be adding some crushed garlic because it's not a meal until it has garlic in it for the flavor, the aroma, everything. Garlic is life, garlic is healthy, and there is nothing wrong with adding garlic. There's also nothing wrong if you don't like garlic and you don't add it. So it's based on your preference. So now I'm just adding some mushrooms, and I'm going to saute those along with the onions, green peppers, spring onions, and garlic. And I'm just going to stir them around and just make sure that they are well cooked. I'm cracking some black pepper because, I'm the black pepper queen. I can't have a meal without it. It just adds to the flavor as well. It creates that depth, So adding that and then stirring. So guys, it's important to always stir. I don't know. I can't sit down. So I'm not one of those people who cook and then I go sit down. No, I can't do that. So then we're going to add some paprika. We are going to add not a full spoon, but yeah, I think you saw what I did there. We're just adding it for the flavor as well. We're building now. It's called building flavor. We have some rosemary and olives seasoning from Ina Barman. Just be careful when you add the seasoning, especially seasoning from Ina Barman, because it can come off as a bit too salty. So you don't have to be heavy-handed when you are adding them to your dishes. And then we have some tomato paste, of course. Guys, we are building flavor. All these steps that we are taking right now is us building the flavor for the pasta. And just making sure that our pasta is going to be well seasoned. It's going to have depth. It's going to be full of flavor. So it's important to just do it step by step and not add it all at once, right? So now we're just stirring in, and then to finish it off, we're going to add some vegetable stock. I chose vegetable stock because I didn't want the pasta to also have a pungent beef flavor, We still want it to be a dish on its own. So I felt like the vegetable stock will give it that different direction that I wanted to take. So here I was just adding it gradually, just making sure that I don't add too much. But you'll see that I ended up using all of it because it was okay. It made enough sauce for the pasta. Remember, we're not making a dish that doesn't need sauce. We're making a dish that does need sauce. So if you're adding sauce, you need to make sure you're adding enough and in abundance. So now I'm just going to let it simmer for a few minutes. I've allowed it to simmer for a few minutes, and I'm ready to add the cream just to tie everything together. So adding the cream gives you that indication that we are now nearing the end of this preparation for the pasta sauce, and we will then add the pasta. So I added the whole thing. I believe this was a 500 ml container, and that's enough for the amount of food that I was baking. So if you're making for, let's say, one person, obviously you would add less so that you don't make too much food. At this point, I think I was cooking for about 6 people, 5 adults and 1 child. So it was enough. I had already boiled my pasta, but I overcooked it a bit. As you can see, it's very sticky. So how you prepare pasta is you basically boil your water, add it to your pot, add some salt, add a little bit of oil so that it doesn't stick together too much, and then you cook it. So I was supposed to just boil it up until it was al dente. I forgot about it, and it passed the al dente stage, and this is where we are. It was tasty, but yeah, I just feel like it would have been more easier to handle it if it was al dente. So as you can see, I'm just stirring in the pasta and mixing it with the sauce so that it's well coated. And just making sure that the pasta is full of flavor. I'm now adding the greener part of the spring onion for my garnish as well as for taste. So once this is done, you know that your pasta is done. And guys, this pasta was so amazing. I don't always make pasta like this because it has so many steps and it has so many ingredients. But this is a once a week or once in 2 weeks type of meal. It was so nice. So now I just sauteing or frying the steak. I'm using T-bone steak in this case. That's all I had in my fridge. So I lightly added some olive oil to the pan. As you can see, there's not too much olive oil there, and that's for a reason. It's because I'm going to add butter. So I didn't want it to be overly soaked in oil, right? We are being mindful about health, and we're being mindful about us using too much oil, cholesterol, and all of that. So I'm just removing it and adding more steak. So the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to finish sauteing before I start adding the butter, because you will see why. It starts getting messy when you add butter to your pan. So I'm just making sure that I fry it a bit, about 2 minutes, 1 minute, 2 minutes on each side until it's a bit charred. My stove was very high because I wanted it to give it that brown color, that sear. And that's why you can also see it releasing some smoke. It was high, but it wasn't high to the point where it would have burnt it, no. So it's important to just get that sear on your meat without fully cooking it, right? So as you can see, I'm now adding the butter. Butter is important, and not margarine, guys. Butter. Butter is important for steak. Okay, that's what I feel. You can have steak that doesn't have butter, it's okay. But I feel like this just ties everything together and it adds that flavor. Now I'm just adding some garlic. So these are garlic cloves that I have cut into 2, and then I'm also adding some thyme, that is thyme, and then I'm also gonna add some rosemary. And the reason why I add these herbs is because they add to the flavor. They add so much to the flavor. Oh my gosh, I didn't tell you. So I added salt and pepper to the steak prior to frying it, and that is the seasoning. So the butter is also salted, so I didn't add too much salt. So you do have an option to either buy unsalted butter or salted butter, and that will assist you with just making sure that you don't add too much seasoning. But in this case, I was using salted butter, and I didn't add too much salt to my steak. So you can even have it like this, guys. This steak is amazing. This is how they prepare it in restaurants, and you'll never go wrong with that method of adding the butter as well. Okay, as you can see, I'm now adding the second batch of steaks that I am just finishing off and taking through the same process of butter, herbs, garlic, right? So I'm just prepping it like that, adding the garlic, gonna add the herbs, and then once I'm done, I'm gonna remove everything and I'm gonna cut it up. Right? The reason why I'm cutting it up is because it's a steak and pasta dish. So the steak has to be inside the pasta. So as you can see, it's now charred. And one of the reasons why I actually did this is because I asked the people I was going to be serving how they wanted their pasta. So everyone had a choice of whether they wanted it medium cooked or medium to well or well done. And that is why if they want well done, you put it in a little bit longer, but not too much. So be mindful about the amount of time that you fry your steak, pardon me, and just make sure that you cook it perfectly. This is the finished product and it looks amazing. It looks so good. I'm gonna give you a few minutes to just take it all in. I know. It was tasty, of course. It was amazing. It was divine. Try it. You are going to enjoy it. So these are the finished products. This is the pasta and the steak. And I hope you try it and I hope you enjoy. Till next time. Bye.